I had already done a video like this, but we are going to do an updated version, and we are going to talk about click-through rates that comes from video impressions. Now, we already talked about what an impression is, but we didn't really dive into the click-through rate. So the first thing that you guys need to know is when you are creating a YouTube video is the most important thing is getting people to click on that video. After that, it is getting people to watch, which is why clickbait titles and thumbnails are one of the worst things you can do for the overall success of your channel. You might get an immediate success, you might get a lot of views, and you might notice that those views don't have a high retention rate, and then you're going to lose trust in your fan base, which is why I preach integrity over anything else. Trust me, if you keep up the work, the results will come if you follow what you're supposed to follow. Inside of your analytics is the key to a successful YouTube channel. Nobody knows this better than you. Only you can see the back end of your channel. If you dive into it, you get familiar, you follow, you see what works for other people, you can become successful on YouTube if you are willing to do and take the necessary steps. So we're in the dashboard for my video as my mustache hair is tickling me on the bottom of my nose. Got to clip it some more. So we're in the dashboard of my Creator Studio, and this is by default. When you go to your Creator Studio, your default in the dashboard, it gives you your latest video. It tells you your number of subs and so on and so forth. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the third down under Analytics. We're going to click on that, and you can see at the top, you've got Overview, you have Content, you have Audience, Revenue, and Trends. For this particular video, we're going to click under Content. And when you see it load up, it's going to tell you how many views you received. It's going to tell me how many impressions that you had. It's going to tell you your average click-through rate and your average view duration. Okay, so what right here is impression CTR or click-through rate. It says views per impression shown. This measures how often viewers watch a video after seeing an impression. Wondering whether your impression click-through rate is high or low, and then you can learn more. Now, what is an impression? We already talked about it. It is if your thumbnail is shown for a second or more. So if somebody blows past, just is scrolling and they're up, go, 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 and they blow past it, it will not count as an impression. But if it is on the screen for 1 second or more, it will count as an impression. So you can see now that I have about 5.6%. Now, it's always great to be higher. I've had some thumbnails, not on this channel, but some thumbnails they came out the gate at 25%, meaning 1 out of every 4 people that saw the thumbnail actually clicked on the video. But as it gets in front of more people, because YouTube has recommended it in front of more people, that percentage will go down. If you look at a viral video, it's probably going to have a huge click-through rate, a huge impression, but maybe a lower click-through rate. Okay, so I haven't had really a viral video on this channel, but I have had them on my other channel. So what you can do is you can scroll down. Okay, if we go to learn more, which is what I want to show you guys, click here. We're going to go to learn more. A pop-up box is going to pop up, and I want to show you that it was under the how do I know if my impression click-through rate is high or low? Now, the wonderful thing is if you were to Google this, this would be the same article. It would pop up on the same article, but they give it to you in your Creator Studio. We're going to scroll down here, and it's something I wanted to show you. Half of all channels and videos on YouTube have an average impression click-through rate that can range between 2 and 10%. Now, from my experience on my other channel, and I guess my overall experience is if I can average plus in double digits, that's a phenomenal video. My video is usually going to do well if it's 15, 16%, which is on average at 1 out of every 10 people are watching that video. That's kind of a big deal when you see what you're up against, right? It could be, but I understand that there's other things in play as well. There's topic, there's title. Sometimes people are not necessarily interested in that topic. Like you guys know, I talk about football. Football is relevant all year round, but it's trendy every so often. The NFL draft is coming up. It's going to take a huge spike because it's going to be trending And then as May rolls around, the middle of May going into June, it's going to die down again. And then right before you know it, we're back to football and it starts to ramp up again. This happens every year. But it's also something that you have to be careful of. If we scroll down here, there's a warning, a hazard sign. It says, avoid trying to increase your CTR using thumbnails or titles that are clickbait. If we hover over here and we click on that, it's going to take us to this video. All right. But clickbait is basically a video and thumbnail that says one thing, but then it is not that thing when the video actually begins. That is what a clickbait title and thumbnail are. YouTube will recommend a video to viewers if the video is relevant to them and if the video's average duration indicates that viewers find it interesting. So that goes back to your retention, which is a completely separate video, but we'll talk about that later. And usually what happens with a clickbait video, soon as somebody clicks on that video and you don't deliver, they know right away if you're going to deliver on what you said you were going to by the title and thumbnail. And if you don't, they're gone. Your retention is super low. Nobody's interested in it. It's going to tell YouTube to suppress that video most of the time. Sometimes it does still get a lot of views, but overall, YouTube will begin to suppress it. Clickbait videos tend to have low average view duration and therefore are less likely to get recommended by YouTube. You can tell if your thumbnail is clickbait if you are getting a high CTR but low average view duration and lower than expected impressions. So basically, the bottom line is whatever you say that the video is going to be about, then make sure the video is about that thing. And what I like to do, and vidIQ recommends this as well, sometimes it takes a lot of time, is I try for the most part, unless I'm being lazy or I really don't want to go through it, I will try to use my thumbnail and title to tell a story without clickbaiting. So I try not to use repeat words unless those are working. If it's working or not dramatically affecting my channel and my impressions, then I'll use the same words. But they recommend that you use different words. You try not to repeat words that are in the thumbnail and in the title. It may take some time, but I like doing that unless I'm being lazy and I don't feel like doing it. But always deliver on whatever you say your video is going to be about. Always deliver, right? Now, there are things that you can't get discouraged necessarily. If you have a viral video, like we discussed earlier, I'm going to show you. You could possibly have a bunch of impressions, but a lot of views as well. You can't necessarily get discouraged by that because the more YouTube puts your video out in front of people, trust me, if it's putting it out in front of a lot of people, that means that it's doing well. And that's the more people it gets in front of, the lower the click-through rate will be. I'm going to show you my other channel. And we are going to go to my most viewed video. All right. We got to go over here. We got to go to views. And we're going to go into the analytics of this video. All right. Now, this video has 619,000 views. It had 25 hours of watch time, 25,000 hours of watch time. It netted me 507 subscribers. And you can see in its lifetime, it's made me $457. But what we're looking for is the reach. How many people did it get in front of? Okay. So I haven't looked at this in a while. And I want you to put in the comment section what your best guess is. It has 619,000 views. 25,000 hours of watch time. I haven't looked at this in months. I'm going to say that this video had 4 million impressions. All right? You put your answer in the comment section. Let's find out. 6 million. I almost went higher than that. It had 6 million impressions, almost 7 million impressions. And out of that so if you took 100 people who saw this thumbnail, 6 out of every 100 watched it. So imagine if you're getting numbers from 1 out of every 10 people watching, which really should be your goal. Your goal should be, you should shoot for 10% all the time, but it will never be the same in every video because it is based off of interest in that particular topic. So, for instance, on this channel, more people are interested in when I make videos about a different subject, if you get my drift, than necessarily another subject. You understand what I'm saying? So, one subject has a higher click through rate, and I'll show you that as well. But 6 out of every 100 people watch this video, pretty much. 7 million impressions, and I got 619,000. Insane. That's insane. And that is how you do it. So let's go back and let's look at, we're going to go back to this channel here that we're currently on. We're going to look again and see, and I'm going to compare the impressions from our most recent upload, which is this right here. We're going to go to the analytics of that particular video. I lost a subscriber. That's it. It always happens. No big deal. Gray arrows across the board. Now, old me would have been completely offended by this, but I understand exactly why this happened. Now, it got in front of 8,000 people. I would love for that to be 4%, 5%. So if I pretty much know probably what I did wrong. Too much is in the thumbnail. Probably not a great title. It is what it is. You learn every single video you make. Now, for instance, let's compare that and contrast with another video that I did not too long ago. This one, green arrows, actually gained some subscribers, had almost, see this? Almost 10,000 impressions. But right now, this is a big deal, right? So out of every 100 people, 10 stop to click on this video, which leads to more people watching. More, and the longer they watch it, more recommendations. Now we will dive into retention that basically comes after this. So what I want you guys to do is don't be offended by a bad performing video. Just figure out what you could do to make it better. And inside of your analytics is all of that. All right. You don't have to continually change your thumbnail drastically. You can play with colors. You can play with different background pictures. I recommend that once you find a thumbnail that works, that your audience resonates with, then stick with that. And I think I got something I want to try. I think I'm going to try on this video here. I think I'm going to try a little something different and see if it increases even by 0.1%. All right. So click through rate explained. This is how you get better. Not every video is going to skyrocket, and it doesn't have to do necessarily 100% with your thumbnails. Topic is a lot as well. Topic is a lot. As you can see, when we talk about a particular topic, wink, wink, those videos do better than when we don't. All right. Any questions, anything you want to know, I'll do my best to answer. Leave it in the comment section below, and I'll catch you in the next video. But if you want to talk about impressions and our first video about impressions, then check out this video right here. I'll see you over there.